It's going to change the way that you think forever. It's going to allow you to realize so much about yourself and about the world around you. It's going to put you on the path to not relying on the guidance and the failure of any of your older sort of peers. You won't rely on their guidance as much anymore. You won't be without the answers. I'm going to explain to you something that will have you realize so much about yourself and the environment around you that it will give you the foundation to make everything clear with tools that you are designed to use. You already know how to do it. You just need to realize it. And I'm going to show you how. But not right now. Right now we're going to talk about something totally different that has nothing to do with that at all. So I'm often in the gym and it's eventually going to happen. It's a matter of time that there's some girl that's so attractive that every guy in there is breaking their neck. Like, it's one of those girls, like, and I go to a pretty populated gym. There's a lot of people in there, right? And every now and again, there's just these girls that, they never show up until they do. They're not like a regular gym goer, but they show up and they're so attractive that there's so much attention drawn to them immediately, and it's hard to even notice other girls, even though there's very attractive girls. And these kinds of girls that I'm describing, they are often immediately, once they walk in, there's like a spotlight on them. It's like almost like they're glowing, almost like this celebrity degree of attention on them. And they're very confident about themselves and they love being showered with this kind of adoration. Not all the time, obviously. This doesn't happen with every girl, but it's not uncommon. In fact, it happens at least 2 to 3 times a year. A girl like that walks into the gym and is interested in me in particular. And the guys around me, they almost start advocating for me to talk to the girl. They're like, hey, dude, they're in the background like, man, hey, she's pretty, dude. Like, she wants you to talk to her, like, she's into you. Like, and you can kind of see it in some of the guys that are trying to get chose, that they're kind of backing down and giving me the runway a little bit. And I do not approach these girls. I do not take interest in these girls. It confuses everyone, including the girl, naturally, because, she's the kind of girl that's used to getting what she wants. She knows that she can have the pick of the litter and get any of those guys in there that she wants. So she probably figures, I'll just put the moves on him. I'll flutter my eyes a little bit once I give him the look, and then he'll come approach me and I'll get showered with the adoration of the guy that I've selected. Any of these other guys that are suggesting to me that I should go and talk to the girl, clearly that they would approach the girl. It's almost like a no duh kind of thing. But I don't. And this video is not about me being selected by super attractive girls. This video is about why I don't approach these kind of girls, even whenever it's all but assured that she's definitely going to be down, that she's definitely going to be receptive, because it seems that all of these guys around me would have been compelled to go and talk to the girl. That's just me basing that on, the kind of reception I'm getting from the guys around me in the gym. I want to explain my logic, and I think that it will lead to a happier and healthier, more secure life for you. For one, they've already shown me a lot of signs that they're a little narcissistic. They're a little full of themselves, and they clearly desire attention, because these sort of things, it never happens to where they're low key and they're cool and they come off as down to earth or anything like that. It's always instead a spectacle. It's always out in the open. It's always loud. It's always them doing the most with their body and trying to do everything with a little bit of flair. They're not satisfied with whatever it is if not the center of attention. Whenever I exercise in the gym, sometimes I do some impressive things, and so people pay attention to me. And I think that's really where it stems from. I don't know if it's just really that I'm attractive. I think they're attracted to attention, and they figure, this is how I can get more of it. I think that they like attention. They're addicted to attention. And so if they like attention and they're interested in me, then they're going to use me for attention. They're used to getting attention from an entire facility full of people. I'm never going to be able to provide them the degree of dopamine that they're getting from attention from everyone. I'm just me. I can only make them feel so good about themselves. They're going to desire attention from numerous people. They're addicted to it. You got to think about what that says about this person. The fact that they're so hyper fixated on what they look like. 100% of the time, whenever I don't approach these girls, they start spazzing out. Like the same way that you've seen it before where, the guy's catcalling the girl, and then whenever she's not trying to mess with him, he'll start saying negative stuff about her, like, well, I didn't want you anyways, and you're ugly anyways, or, you ain't all that, and, you need to learn to smile more, or whatever they're going to say to the girl. They start trying to bring her down. The similar thing happens whenever I don't approach these girls. They take it as rejection. My intention is not to reject them. I'm just simply not comfortable with the ordeal. There's some very apparent things wrong with them that's beneath the surface. If you just kind of pay attention to what they're doing, they spaz out on like a narcissistic fit of rage whenever I just simply don't approach them, which we're stepping out of the matrix here. Isn't it a bit audacious of them to just be entitled to your time? It's not that I've shown signs of affection to them. They've shown signs of interest in me. They've shown signs of being attracted to me. Not the other way around. Not that they're not attractive, but I haven't done anything to say, hey, I want to approach you. It's nothing of my own will. They want me to approach them, and now they feel entitled to my time and attention for no reason. Like, imagine as a guy, you go out into the world and you just see a random stranger and you think, oh, they'll be good for a thing that I want, and you just start staring at them and fluttering your eyes, or not being vocal, or not telling the person what you want, or not even asking them for what you want, but you're just giving off signs that the other person is supposed to be able to read to give you what you want from some random stranger that you don't even know. Like, the entitlement and audacity of that is just insane. You hear guys saying it all the time. You have to respect yourself or nobody else will. And we keep getting this advice, we keep hearing this advice, but nobody's actually heeding that advice. Because if you were, whenever this sort of treatment came up to you, you wouldn't stand for it. Whenever a girl came up to you, showed you signs of attraction or anything like that, your knee-jerk reaction wouldn't be to mirror them and show interest. You'd be more reserved. You'd maintain your standards. As soon as one of them throws on a little bit of makeup and shows you some attention, you start tripping over your own tongue, trying to just sort of trough the floor. And it's not even something you genuinely want to do. Guys' standards are in hell. Your standards for yourself and the type of person that you're allowing into your life, both romantically and platonically, is in hell. The bar, the standard is in hell. Here's proof. Look at what you see out there. When you look out at what's available and the type of degeneracy, the type of moral looseness, the behaviors that are deemed acceptable, the attire, the mannerisms. I'm not going to go into detail because if you have your head screwed on halfway, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's widely acceptable because the general standards for the opposite sex is in hell. Now, what will a girl tell you? Well, 6 figures, 6 foot, he has to be doing X, Y, and Z, he has to be all these things. That's high standard. And a normal guy is so far below their standard. Whereas that's not the case for a guy. A guy is happy with an average looking girl, beyond happy, ecstatic with an average looking girl. And there's nothing wrong with average looking girl. Maybe they're a good person or whatever. But what I'm saying is, just because a girl is pretty and shapely and all these other things that on a visual, very physical level is attractive, you have to understand and accept the fact that you're a more complex human being than that. That you don't know this person. You're not truly comfortable with this person. The reason why you got your hands on your hip and you're, nearly shaking in your boots whenever you talk to these girls who've essentially psychologically cornered you into approaching them, the reason you feel that way is because you're not comfortable with them. They would be just as nervous if they came up to you in a similar fashion. They've built no rapport with you. They haven't introduced themselves to you. You've never spent time around them. You don't have some mutual friends. And I'm not saying that you can never cold approach a girl. What I'm saying is that, it's not a confidence issue. It's not all this other stuff that these guys that don't know what they're talking about keep trying to sell you. It's very normal for you to not feel comfortable with approaching a random stranger who's done nothing up until this point other than make demands of you. And you're willing to go through with this for various reasons, but one of them being that your standards are too low. And here's what blows my mind. I'm sure all of the female listeners that might have been here a few minutes ago are gone by now. But if you're still here, I actually do have something for you. And for the guys, this is good information for you as well. You're going to get to pick their brain and understand who you're dealing with. And that's positive for both parties. But think about it this way. As a girl, why would you be interested in a guy that's willing to sacrifice his time for a random stranger that he doesn't know? Why would you be attracted to a guy that gives away his time freely? Why would you believe in a guy? Why would you want to follow a guy? Why would you want to be involved with a guy that's so easily distracted that all it takes is a slim waist and, a girl in a crop top showing her stomach and her belly button ring? As long as she gives an eye flutter and a smile, that's enough for him to not be focused on progressing himself. That's enough to distract him from his workout, or distract him from getting money, or distract him from bettering himself by any means, whatever it is, or even just recreation. Why would you be interested in someone that's that easily distracted, that is that easily led astray, and is so willing to sacrifice their time to a random stranger? This part's going to sound crazy. In the instance that I explained earlier in the video, where I have these very attractive girls show pretty obvious signs of attraction to me, and it becomes increasingly more so obvious because with the way girls are, when they think that you're not getting the hint, they send the hint really hard. They just go harder and harder until they're like, what's wrong with you? Like, I know that you see me. Like, not only am I not attracted to them, I actually feel disrespected. They're entitled, and I feel like they're disrespecting my time. They're assuming that they already have me. They're assuming that they can get me whenever they want. And it's like, I don't know who you think you are, and maybe you're somebody, but regardless of who you are, I'm still me. I have real things going on in my life. And you guys do too. You have to think about it. Don't you have aspects of your life that you'd like to improve? What about your parents? Are they doing okay? Your parents are going to be here for a very temporary amount of time, and you're still in the stages of developing, trying to become the best version of yourself. They have wisdom and knowledge while being combined with the unique perspective of knowing who you were since you were born. These are very valuable sources of information that you need to take advantage of before they're gone and you don't have the opportunity anymore. You can't be going out every weekend sacrificing your time to a stranger that you don't know whenever your parents' time on this earth is limited. I'm not saying to stay hanging around your parents and never get out of the nest, but I'm saying that they're valuable, and they're a lot more valuable than somebody that you don't even know. And even aside from that, don't you have like real problems in your life that you really need to tend to, that you should really focus on seriously to resolve? And even if you don't have any issues in your life, which I imagine you do, but if you don't you at least have some goals that you'd like to accomplish? Have you looked at these goals and thought, well, I'm no closer to achieving that than I was last year? You have goals like that, I presume. We all do. So the reason why you're not accomplishing goals like that is because you're spreading your resources and time then focusing on people who are really just a thief of your attention. They're just distractions. I mean, literally, they are more interested in attention than anything else. The only thing that might beat out their desire for attention is their desire for status. And you keep feeding it to them, giving away your prosperity. Why would I give that to somebody that, if you just sit back and look at it objectively, it's so clear that that's what they're after? I know how valuable my time is because I'm very focused on what I need to do. And I know what I'm sacrificing time away from. Not only do they have to be worth it, but they have to prove to me that they're going to handle my time with the same level of care that I do. And that whenever I give them my time, they appreciate it. I'm just not confident in giving that to someone that is showing clear signs of immaturity and narcissism before I've ever even met them and they've had the chance to tell me their name. Like, what sense does it make to act in a cartoonish way when that's really boy stuff? A man isn't ruled by his sexual desires like that. A man that has focus and is in control of himself doesn't blindly do what the world wants him to do, and he definitely doesn't blindly chase after girls. That's a boy trait. That's a young man, immature trait to have. It makes you look like an idiot. It makes you look like a fool. It makes you look like you don't respect yourself. The final point that I want to make here is that I think part of the reason that guys want to have girlfriends or want to be involved with girls is that they don't want to be alone. There's guys out there that are not confident enough to walk into a populated area by themselves. You know, they have to have friends with them, or they have to have a girl with them. You know, a lot of guys, they end up not wanting to be alone, and understandably so, because whenever a guy is seen with an attractive girl, it elevates his value in the eyes of others. And both guys and girls, they look at that person as a more valuable, more attractive person when they have a girl with them, or even more than one girl with them. So I understand. I mean, we've all experienced it where, you know, maybe a girl isn't interested in you or doesn't appear to be interested in you. Then whenever she sees you with a girl, then she flips the script and is all of a sudden interested. And that's why. And so I understand, you know, not wanting to be alone. But when you learn to be alone and you're okay with people thinking what they want to think in that regard, you're going to find out a lot of interesting things about yourself, and it's actually going to lead to you being much more confident than you ever have been before. All right, end video. What's up? It's your boy. I've always wanted to do that. What's up, everybody? It's your boy. I'm not actually your boy. I'm not actually your friend. I'm not actually even a boy. I'm a man.